And we're in the middle of the busiest travel period of the year, disrupted by a winter storm system.
So we are flying through Florida from Chicago to then go back to Portland.
Plus, we hear from a local woman who was the victim of a car theft while she was volunteering on Thanksgiving.
My son had just put some new parts in it, and I just got it driving again.
And later, how TriMet's efforts to close a budget gap could impact your evening commute.
It looks nicer, it keeps our city cleaner, so it's disappointing that it's needed.
Well, it's hard to believe, but in just 1 hour, we're going to be in December, and the late fall morning chill is going to feel a little bit more like winter. Thanks so much for joining us here at 11. I'm John Adams. Meteorologist Joe Ranieri is here to let us know how cold things could be getting tomorrow morning. Joe?
Well, we potentially, John, could see the coldest morning so far this fall. We got very close to it earlier this morning. A few locations got right around that freezing mark. Hillsborough was at freezing at 32 degrees. So far, the coolest Portland, that just updated. That's now basically the coolest that we've seen so far this fall at PDX was 35 degrees. It'll be just as cold tomorrow morning, but along the east side of the state, it was the mid to the upper teens. Burns and Rome at 17, John Day 21 degrees. So we'll have a lot of sunshine at times tomorrow, but also some cool and kind of cloudy skies as well to start things off. But we are going to be seeing a little of everything for the first day of December. Widespread areas of frost. Some areas, again, could dip down to around freezing. And we'll be looking at temperatures in the mid to the upper 40s. We have this ridge of high pressure in place, and that's going to be holding in for tonight and into tomorrow as well. A few high clouds kind of filtering in, but we'll start to see those clouds increase at times by tomorrow afternoon, and rain will return by Tuesday. But I want to show you what's happening at the Pioneer Park building camera. That is really cold out there right now. Temperature of 35 degrees with clear skies. Thanks to those clear skies, our temperatures will continue to drop in many locations, especially more of the rural areas. We'll talk more about your first week of December forecast in just a few minutes.
All right, Joe, we appreciate it. Thank you. We continue tonight with the heaviest travel of the year in an intense winter storm system, making a mess for folks trying to head home in time for the work week. NBC's Valerie Castro has more on the growing number of flight delays and cancellations.
Tonight, weary travelers making their way home on the busiest travel day of the year after winter weather hammered airports and covered roads in the Midwest. Millions waking up to winter alerts, clearing snow in places like Wisconsin.
I do the sidewalks and the edges. He can concentrate on the bulk of it in the middle.
Icy conditions Saturday leading to several accidents in Iowa. State troopers dealing with cars and semi-trucks off the side of the road. In Des Moines, a scare for Delta passengers after a plane slid off the runway.
Yeah, we're slipping a little bit. 5087, we just slid off the runway.
Thankfully, no one was hurt. In Illinois, this driver sliding across 3 lanes of interstate traffic before ending up in a ditch. Chicago's O'Hare setting a record for the snowiest November day with more than 8 inches of snow after more than 1,000 canceled flights. Travelers today dealing with long security lines, trying to rebound from the chaos.
Our flight got postponed twice and then outright canceled. So we're stuck in the snow, so we had to go to a hotel, and now we're going to try again.
More than 3 million people expected to pass through TSA today, potentially setting records.
We expect numbers to be pretty significant. We're seeing travel continue to increase 3 to 4% annually. We're expecting this to be a significant travel day.
And with more snow and rain on the way, Thanksgiving's leftover travel troubles not drying out just yet.
Well, speaking of that travel chaos at O'Hare Airport in Chicago, many people flying back to Portland were entangled in that mess today. Now, we spoke with Hillary Zust earlier this evening. Zust was visiting family in Chicago over the holiday weekend and was scheduled to fly back here to PDX on Saturday. That flight was canceled and rescheduled for this morning, and that's when things got worse.
Got here at 4:30 in the morning today, and then our flight got pushed back. And so it was supposed to leave at 7 and then 10. And then they changed the gates many, many times. So it's an interesting adventure, and I will be very, very happy when it is over.
Sadly, that adventure is not over because Zust Alaska Airlines flight was then scheduled to depart from Chicago at midnight, with passengers flying to Orlando and then catching a flight from Orlando to PDX, with it arriving tomorrow morning. Now, after we spoke with Zush, she told us that flight was also canceled. She now won't be leaving Chicago until Tuesday. Overall, it's a heavy travel day across the country with millions flying home from Thanksgiving holidays. More than 367,000 travelers are expected to pass through PDX over the holiday weekend. That's a slight increase from last year. But the storm over the Midwest meant some flights from Chicago to PDX were canceled this afternoon. One flight this morning also returned shortly after takeoff.
They kind of just went on the intercom and let us know that, you know, they had shut down the airport due to the storm. Everyone's a little bit panicked about when the next flight out is going to be, especially to Chicago.
It's not as packed as I thought it was going to be. I know it's kind of a easy, expedited airport.
Just an hour delay. Our plane had some mechanical stuff going on, but not that bad.
According to AAA, about 120,000 Oregonians chose to fly instead of drive this year. An update in Washington. The main source of jet fuel for Seattle's airport is now fully back in service. A leak was first discovered on November 11th. Officials are still trying to determine how much product was lost. So far, they've recovered about 2,300 gallons. No product has been leaked outside of the response area. The 400-mile pipeline runs from Whatcom County to here in Portland. A Hillsborough woman spent Thanksgiving morning volunteering at a Portland homeless shelter. But when she left to go to her own Thanksgiving, she discovered her car was stolen. Jay Coulter brings us that story.
The woman says she parked her car at this lot on 1st and Davis and says she was shocked to discover it was stolen after she'd finished serving Thanksgiving meals at Union Gospel Mission.
I was just shaking and I thought, oh no, all my Thanksgiving, everything's in here.
Cheryl from Hillsborough spent her Thanksgiving morning giving back to the community.
Every Thanksgiving, I go down to the Mission, Union Gospel, and volunteer in the mornings.
But when she went back to her car, it wasn't there. Her purse and Thanksgiving dishes along with it. Cheryl asked we not show her face on camera, concerned for her privacy after the theft.
I feel so violated. I came home and I just didn't know how to function. What do I do first? And my ID's out there, and and I'm worried about ID theft and just everything I could possibly think of. And where's my car and what condition's it in?
The car, a 1999 beige Honda Accord with wine country plates, her only mode of transport.
And I use it for appointments and groceries and everything because I can't walk everywhere. And so I really want to get it back.
Portland police data shows Honda Accords are in the top 10 models of cars stolen in the city. Cheryl says she filed a police report and has been actively looking for it with her son, driving around the city to hunt for it and visiting stores her cards were used at. More than $600 spent before she canceled them.
My son and I went into a couple places where they used my card, and they said they're going to do camera. The police will have to go and look at cameras to see if.
Portland police data shows that 89% of stolen cars in the city are recovered, 77% of which within 30 days. In the meantime, Cheryl says it will be tough as she lives on a fixed income.
I'm more interested now, not in them, so just finding my car because I need it. And I can't really afford to get another one. I couldn't even before this happened.
Police add to never leave anything of value in your car and do things like activate the security alarm system or install anti-theft plate fasteners. Jay Coulter, KGW News.
An investigation is underway in Marion County after a man attacked another man with a knife. Video submitted to us shows a suspect getting arrested Saturday night near 3rd Street and G Street in Hubbard. Police say after attacking the victim, the suspect barricaded himself in a car and refused all police commands. After nearly 6 hours, police with the help of SWAT brought the suspect into custody. Nearby in Salem, a woman was taken to the hospital after she was hit by an Amtrak train. First responders were called around 5:20 this evening to railroad tracks south of Hyacinth Street near MLK Jr. Parkway. The woman remains in custody, but her condition is not known at this time. Traffic opened back up around 45 minutes later, and Amtrak police are investigating. And along the coast, it took first responders and volunteers nearly 7 hours to rescue a stranded hiker. Cannon Beach Rural Fire Protection District says around 2 yesterday afternoon, they got word of a hiker who was at the top of Saddle Mountain and couldn't get down. First responders found the man about 40 feet high on a very thin ridge, only about 3 feet wide. The fire district's rope rescue team was ultimately called to rappel from above the hiker and then lowered him down safely. Today, TriMet began its first of a large-scale service cut. For 4 lines, 35, 52, 77, and 81, buses will now arrive once every hour after 9 p.m. After 7 p.m., the FX2 line will run every 24 to 35 minutes every day. It says TriMet faces a $30 million budget gap with expenses outpacing revenue. Still, it comes as a disappointment to one rider.
The less public transportation that there'll be after 9 will just continue to make it more and more difficult for people who want to spend their time out, who want to, businesses who want to stay open later. And with the increased rent, it's just going to make it even more difficult for small businesses and people to thrive.
Well, this also comes after TriMet got rid of 68 positions earlier this month. The next round of service cuts is scheduled for March.